How I run 27 faceless YouTube channels, copy my exact blueprint. Now guys, this is a video that I think is very necessary for the average YouTube automation person trying to get into this space. And this is really something that only people that have been in the industry for many years will really have kind of experienced and kind of know the ins and outs of. So this video will be a little bit more advanced, but I'm going to go through the exact blueprint we use to structure, hire, and operate a 27 channel portfolio. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and quickly show you kind of how much channels we have. It's a lot more than 27, but when I say 27, I mean actively being ran. So if I go ahead and press switch account and I just begin scrolling, you can see how many channels there are here. I'm just continuing to scroll. It's basically non-stop. It keeps going, it keeps going. So over the years, we've built up a massive portfolio. Now, if I scroll all the way to youtube.com/accounts, you can see just our all channels section, how many channels we have in this little section. Just to go on one of them, let me show you the revenue on just a single one of them. Now, this is the revenue on just one of our many channels. I want to emphasize this is not all profit. We have a lot of splits. I run this channel 50-50 with someone, but if I go ahead and press settings, you can see this is obviously in AUD, which is my currency. So in other words, 578,000, probably about 350,000 USD in revenue on this one channel. Now, what I want to cover in this video is overall team management, how I kind of hire all of my workers, what workers are kind of needed in today's market. Obviously, given the ever-changing landscape with AI and handling script writing, voice acting, and everything with AI, we have let go a lot of our team members that we used to need, but there are still a few that aren't necessary in certain niches. So in that case, I do want to go ahead and show you guys how we sort of do that. And of course, cover the operational costs and just general management. Now guys, really quickly before we get into it, if you want to go ahead and join my public Discord server, it's completely free. That's discord.gg/1%. It'll be linked down below as well. It's just a really cool community, and of course it's 100% free. Now without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Now, first thing people often ask me is, isn't it kind of annoying to have to, have every single account and every single channel that I'm currently building under one email? I have to keep making a new email every single time. No. So what you can actually do is, obviously I'm going to go ahead and blur my channels once again, but if you go ahead and press view all channels and you go to this section, you can actually create a brand new channel under the one email. Alternatively, whatever email you're using to manage your channels, you can actually go to the invite section and you can actually invite your email as an owner on whatever channel you might be having. And what that actually allows you to do is, as I showed before, have all of your channels in a simple section where you can simply press switch account and of course be able to see all of them all in one place. That's a very common question I get, and when you are getting started, it can be quite overwhelming. And I see a lot of my clients and workers and people that I genuinely just work with ask me, well, it's so annoying, how do I kind of have everything all in one place? And that makes things a lot easier. Now, the next thing I get very often, and something that I think is super important, is overall team management and oversight. Now, what do I mean by this? Team management. You don't want to, let's say you're running 5 channels, have to individually message every single person that's working on each of those channels every single day. It's way easier to have everything sorted into either a Slack community or a Discord server. So what I'm going to do is really quickly, I'm going to open up Discord and I'm going to show you how I structure some of my channels' Discord servers. Now here is an example. This is one of the servers we made for one of our clients. Now essentially what we have is, you can see we have a video editor section, we have a script writing section, a voice acting section, and a thumbnail designing section. Now, if you guys don't understand what this is, we essentially created a Discord server where we would have our workers that handle thumbnails. You can see we would just give him the information here. He would give us the thumbnails. We'd obviously give him the role of thumbnail designer. And of course, we have other roles like editor, scriptwriter, voice actor. And of course, whatever role you give to said person, they would only have access to that specific channel. And what you can even do to take this a step further, and what we've done on many of our channels, is actually have it in a sequence. So for example, you would have the video ideation expert, so coming up with the ideas. He would then send that to the scriptwriter, who would then do the script, send that over to the voice actor, who would then have the voice acting, and finally send that over to the editing team. But as you guys know, when it comes to kind of YouTube automation as a whole in today's market, it's become so easy to just kind of automate everything with AI. So realistically, our kind of processes and the structure we've used has changed over the last year to the point where we really just have somebody that handles video ideation, script writing, and voice acting all in one go. So for example, they'll have kind of the rundown on what we need for video ideation. They'll come up with all of the ideas. They'll then put it into ChatGPT, get the script, feed that to 11 Labs, and then have the download file. And then, of course, we still pay editors. So they simply send that initial download file as well as the script over to the editor. And of course, that essentially takes everything off of our hands and completely outsourced. And I think that's sort of the beauty of kind of handling this at a large scale. You really do need to be optimizing to where the amount of work on your end is very much limited. And of course, time is money. Now, when you are starting out, it's completely fine to handle a lot of it yourself. But for me, for example, when I do handle just the sheer amount of channels and operations that I kind of run, it becomes quite daunting to have to manage everything. So kind of outsourcing and delegating tasks to a team is very much a necessity post scale. Now guys, really quickly before we keep going on with the video, check out my pre-monetized site. This has recently come out again after I've taken it down for a bit. Essentially, you can get monetized instantly with one of my channels in my stock. We essentially sell channels that are already monetized. We've lowered the price an insane amount just recently. If you want to go ahead and get yourselves a pre-monetized channel, once again, use the promo code video. It will give you a 5% off for the first 5 people that use it. And of course, these channels are completely safe. You can turn them into any niche you might want to do. And of course, the RPMs, whether you're doing ultra long form, short form, long form. For example, if you're doing ultra long form, you'll have a $20 RPM instantly if you go ahead and get yourselves a pre-monetized website. Without further ado, let's get back into the video. The link will be in the description. Now, the next thing that I think is super important is how I handle payouts and pricing. Personally, I prefer upfront over equity. Now, what do I mean by this? So a lot of people, when they are creating channels, and I completely understand this if you don't have the capital to get started, but kind of post scale, and once you've really got channels going, what I see a lot of people doing is offering equity to kind of editors or script writers or voice actors or whatever they might be doing. While yes, this is a good idea if you're getting into it, and if you guys don't know what equity is, it's essentially like I'll give you 20% of my channel if you handle this part of it. Now, I don't personally do that. I much prefer paying upfront, and I'm going to get a little bit more into depth on that and how to hire a team and how to kind of negotiate and stuff like that later. But what I am trying to get at is that I would definitely not recommend giving up equity to any operation you're really doing unless you are operating a channel privately with your own friend or with a partner. Now, a massive thing that I kind of use to my advantage and I sort of leverage, but this kind of only applies if you do have capital on hand, is really working with bulk. Now, when I say working with bulk, I mean, for example, if you negotiate, let's say you're posting 30 videos a month on a specific short form channel you're automating. Let's say you go ahead and finally get your editor all sorted. Rather than paying, let's say $10 a video, let's say you agreed to $10 a video, you can actually offer him, whereas that would normally be $300 a month for 30 videos. You can say, hey, I'll pay you up front. For the entire month up front, and let's negotiate a bulk deal. Now, when I say bulk deal, I mean kind of offering, let's say it was meant to be 300 and you would pay after every video. You can say, let's do 200 for the entire month. And of course, give me a discount because I'm paying up front and I'm paying a bulk deal. Now, by doing this, not only are you lowering your margins exponentially, but you're also building that relationship with the editing team, with the script writing team, whatever it might be, and whatever outsourcing task you might be delegating. Now, for the bread and butter, which I'm sure you guys have been waiting for, how I hire new team members and filter out the bad ones. Now, I personally love Upwork. There are a few alternatives and I'm going to get into those now. One of the alternatives you can use for kind of hiring any sort of team member is discord.gg/creative paradise. It's a really cool server. They've got like 35,000 members, not sponsored by the way, I don't really care, but they've recently made it a lot harder to sort of hire talent, and they've made it quite more difficult than what it used to be. So for now, I've kind of been working very much so on Upwork, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys exactly how I personally do this. Now, here we go. I'm on Upwork. I've simply gone to post the job. Now, just for reference, let's say I was going to copy an ultra long form YouTube niche. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just find a random ultra long form YouTube niche. Let me go ahead and scroll, and here we go. Found one. 4 hours of unexplained ancient mysteries to fall asleep to. All I'm going to do is copy the URL. I'm going to head back to Upwork, and I'm simply going to write up a little bit of a prompt and rundown on what I need. Now, all I've said is I need an editor / overall worker to simply grab my voiceover that I provide daily and line it up with clips. Average video is 2 to 3 hours. You simply post go, and what Upwork actually does now is use AI to format whatever you might be doing, send it to the people that it kind of equates to and whoever it's relevant to, and it's honestly just way easier. So as you can see, there's a bunch of deliverables. You can set up a summary, so I'm going to go ahead and paste in that YouTube video as a reference, and this is super important. When you have the project deadline section, you want to go ahead and filter it by today, just so you know that people are, time is of the essence. You don't want to have people that are going to take weeks to provide footage and to do content. You want to have it instantaneously. Now, this is another really important part, and that is the budget. Now, of course, you can go ahead and choose all your extra stuff, like what skills you need, video editing, video production, whatever it might be. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and press next. But this is where it gets super important and kind of where I found a little bit of a trick. Upwork actually asks you whether you want to pay an hourly rate or whether you want to pay a fixed price. Now, the reason why I never, ever do hourly is because a lot of these Upwork people are simply going to say that it took longer to do the job than it actually did in reality. So what I like to do is do fixed price, and then I'll set a maximum project budget, and I'll say $20 for example, finalize job post. And then this is one of the cool things about Upwork, it actually doesn't cost money. You can simply post it as a standard job, and I've gone ahead and done that, and essentially it's been posted. Congratulations, your job post is now live, and over the next couple hours I'll literally start getting tens if not hundreds of submissions. You can also see they give you the option to actually invite people to specific jobs that might kind of meet your criteria. So you can essentially just press this review proposal section. Over the next couple hours, I'll really start to build up an entire rundown and kind of guest list, people interested in doing this job. What you'll do is you'll simply DM them, you'll look at their profile, and what Upwork will actually do is show you how much money they have earned on Upwork, how much projects they've completed, you know, their reviews, their rates, stuff like that. And you can essentially just format through all of them, even make a document if you have to, and filter out the bad ones versus the good ones. And of course, once you've found kind of the editing team, whatever project or kind of job you might be outsourcing, you simply get them off the platform, which is super easy to do. You can send them a notepad, you can email them and say, yo, here's my Discord. So that way you kind of get off of Upwork and onto your own platform. And I've utilized this to grow many channels in the past, and it's honestly a really seamless and easy way to structure your entire internal team. Now guys, really quickly, once again, if you want to go ahead and get yourselves a pre-monetized YouTube channel, meaning you are monetized instantly, earning revenue straight away, whether it be a $20 to $30 RPM, we've sold over 500 channels and we've never had to give anybody a refund. Once again, the URL or whatever coupon code you might be using is video. That'll give you a 5% discount sale for anybody that uses it. And if you want to go ahead and join my public Discord server, that's discord.gg/1%. I hope to see you all in there, and I hope you learned something new. This was a bit more of an advanced video, so I hope this catered to a few of you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.